Have you ever wanted something so badly, and the moment you finally get it, you just get this overwhelming urge to blow it all up? It's a strange question, isn't it? Well, that's the central paradox we're going to get into today.
Because that impulse, that act of self-destruction, it isn't really about being weak or loving drama. It's something way, way deeper. It's not just fear. It's a survival mechanism that's been wired in deep.
So, let's get into it. This is our look at borderline personality disorder and self-sabotage, what we're calling the war within. We're starting with this core conflict, the self-sabotage paradox. Now, for people with borderline personality disorder, or BPD, life is often marked by these incredibly intense emotions and this deep, deep fear of instability in relationships. And this just creates a profound internal battle, right? You crave love and connection like it's oxygen, but the second it feels real, you feel like you're completely suffocating.
And it's so important to understand that in the world of BPD, this is not a conscious choice. It's a really twisted form of self-protection. It's more like an unconscious reflex. Its whole purpose is to prevent that shattering, unbearable pain of abandonment by just taking control and ending things first.
So in day-to-day life, what does that actually look like? Well, it might be pushing people away right when a relationship starts getting really good. Or maybe destroying something positive in your life just to feel like you're in the driver's seat. It can even mean making choices that you know will lead to rejection. Because hey, at least that way the pain doesn't catch you by surprise. It's all about beating what feels inevitable to the punch. To really get a feel for the emotional weight of this, let's walk through a story. Let's talk about how this pattern builds through the story of Mary and David. Okay, so Mary meets David, and for the first time in maybe forever, she feels genuinely safe. He's calm, he's patient, he sees her. But that very safety is terrifying. There's this little voice inside her head whispering, he's gonna leave the second he sees who you really are. And so the testing starts. She pulls away, she cancels plans, she starts arguments over nothing. It all comes to a head one night when David says, I just want to understand you. But her brain hears that as a threat. It translates to, he's tired of this, he's about to leave. So before he can walk away from her, she walks away from him. And here's the crucial, kinda twisted part. In that moment of breaking up with him, Mary feels this bizarre sense of relief, because by ending it first, she doesn't have to feel that crushing pain of being abandoned. She seized control of the outcome that she was already so sure was coming anyway. But that feeling of control, it's a total mirage. It's temporary, and what comes after is this deep, permanent regret. Mary felt powerful for one single moment and then completely empty for months. That cycle, wanting love, fearing love, destroying love, it became her own emotional prison. So that's the what. But to really understand it, you have to look at the why. This isn't about a desire for drama. This is rooted in the psychology of pure survival. You see, these behaviors grow from these deep, invisible wounds, often from early relationships where love and pain got all tangled up. You've got this deep-seated fear of abandonment, an unstable sense of self, asking the question, who am I without all this chaos? You get emotional flashbacks where your body is literally reliving old pain. And underneath all of it is this core belief that you just don't deserve stability. For any healing that happened, your brain has to be rewired. Your nervous system has learned that pain, as awful as it is predictable. Peace, on the other hand, that's terrifying. It's unknown. And so, your brain learns that love equals danger. Healing is the long, hard process of teaching your brain a totally new story, that love can be safe, that stability is possible, and that you absolutely deserve to be happy. So how do you even start that rewiring process? Well, this is where the real work begins. It's the journey from just being aware of it all to actually healing. For Mary, the big turning point came when she learned to just pause and ask herself one really powerful question whenever she felt that urge to run. What am I afraid of losing right now? And that one question changed everything. She started to realize she wasn't just afraid of him leaving. She was afraid to believe she was worth staying for in the first place. And from that new awareness, a path forward starts to show up. It has clear, actionable steps. First up, radical awareness, just observing the urge without judging yourself for it. Second, pause before reacting. Seriously, creating just 60 seconds of space can change everything. Third, inner child work, where you actually comfort that scared younger part of yourself. Fourth is getting curious. Instead of trying to control the outcome, you just ask, what if? What if I don't run this time? Fifth, self-validation, learning how to calm your own emotional storm. And finally, and this is critical, seek therapy, especially something like dialectical behavior therapy, which gives you the core skills to break these cycles. Okay, this brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole thing. It's a huge shift in perspective. The real enemy in this battle isn't you.
And I really want you to hear this. You are not broken. This behavior is not a character flaw. It is a survival strategy that was learned in an environment where it was necessary. You're protecting yourself in the only way you ever learned how to.
Exactly. We focus so much on trying to stop the behavior, but that's just treating a symptom. The real enemy here is the original pain that taught your brain to believe that love equals danger. Real healing means going to the root of that wound. And if any of this story has resonated with you, I really want you to hear this next part. You are not the villain of your story. You're the survivor, a survivor who is now learning the incredibly brave work of how to stop fighting the ghosts of the past. And that isn't weakness, that is the definition of strength. And really, that's what it all comes down to. The war within, that whole cycle of self-sabotage, it starts to end the moment that true self-compassion begins. That is the key that unlocks the prison. It's choosing to stay even when every single part of you is screaming to run.